What's going on, guys? Ironflash here with my boy from the other side of Houston, Tejas.
I know it is, man.
That boy Spice Glory out here.
You know it is, man. I'm back in it. I'm back in the building, man. I'm back.
So we are here with a special video for you guys today. This is a movie review on Disney and Pixar's movie Soul. It came out yesterday for Christmas, and let me tell you, it was such a good movie.
Very good movie.
Now, from upon talking to you about it uh, prior to this, uh, I would say that this movie had a lot of significant messages for people.
There's so many messages. Like you have to watch this movie like at least 4 to 5 times to like really grasp every single piece of like uh subliminal message that like Disney and Pixar decided to like put in.
I
Honestly.
I agree. One of the biggest takes that I took from it is to not live your life and be content with what you have.
Yeah, like conformity,
Yeah,
that type of thing.
and like I know,
So
like one of the biggest other messages was about your purpose, and it's something that
mhm.
you have really elaborated on. So elaborate to these people what that means.
um chasing chasing after something may not like necessarily be what you're supposed to like be chasing after, or if you like chase after something that you thought you wanted and then you finally get what you want that you were chasing for, it's not as sweet as when you were um running after it for so many years. you know um the gratification you get is not what you end up feeling in your emotions that you wanted when you were glorifying the dream that you were chasing, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, it's also a sense of don't go out and just look for your purpose. Like, like don't go out and look for your purpose. Your purpose will present itself,
Hmm.
and what good you can contribute to your life.
Exactly.
This movie was insane, bro. Like it was all over the place, and I
Yeah,
absolutely loved it.
so much.
Um, I I have to say that it was a very I believe it's a very for people that are going to watch it or have watched it already. It's a very impactful movie on not only your like, no pun intended, your soul, but also for like the African American community. They were represented in such a great light
Exactly.
in this movie. I really liked the way that it was directed. Um, uh, One of my favorite scenes in this movie is the barbershop scene where 22 is in the body, and this is kind of like where you start seeing the partial greediness of him
Hmm.
when he's like really wanting to get back in his body.
Hmm.
uh and the bar, because like your barber is your therapist pretty much.
Yeah.
So I think that with that scene when 22 is in his body and she's just talking like a child would, like just like little experiences, but they
Hmm.
don't know that, so they took it as in life experience because it's coming out of a grown man.
Hmm.
And so when when she asked the barber about his life and why he didn't become a, what was it, a veterinarian,
Hmm.
because his daughter got sick, so barber school seemed more manageable.
Right.
And he had pointed out, hey, you've never asked me about my life. And so that's when he, like, the gear started turning in his life, and it wasn't she showed him that it's not just all about him, it's about everybody around you as well.
Of course, yeah, definitely true. Um, just to piggyback off of that, also, the chair. Think about that for a second. Like the chair is like a like you know how she was like coming to sit in the chair and she was like he's like, well, you can pretty much, get whatever you want when you're sitting in a chair. That's pretty much another metaphor if you really like think about it, because like if you're not the master of your domain, somebody else is, because they're telling you how to live, they're telling you how to be, you know their advice. They always, people always expect you, just because you give them advice, to use their advice. Oh, you should do this or you should do that. No, if I'm the master of if I'm the person in the chair and I'm the master of this chair and I have, say so, I'm going to control my own destiny. That's what I get from, you know, her just sitting in the chair as him, and, the barber at saying like, oh, you can, when you're in this chair, you're in control,
Right.
you know.
I felt that. I understood that.
Yeah.
Tell me about your favorite movie scene. Your favorite scene in this movie.
One of like, there's a lot of them,
That
but like
the one that tugged at your heartstrings the most.
one that tugged at my heartstrings the most is the scene where he 22 as him, goes to the mom and asks like, hey, can you like sew up my suit or whatever, and it goes into these like different echelon of like emotions, and uh 22 says something as him, like to the effect of like, I just, feel like if I died today, my life wouldn't amount to anything. And I actually shed a tear for that. Like it's crazy because I like really resonated with that, because like we never really like think to ourselves like, damn, if I, if this was all taken away from me and I like,
What?
paired.
Yeah, like what do you leave behind?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then with that scene, one thing that resonated with me was when 22 is speaking as him, and he's telling her what to say, is when she asks him, "You never want to talk to me about your dreams and aspirations," and he's like, "Well, I feel like I can't because you always want to shut them down. You think that they're not
Mhm.
worth anything." And I can relate to that too, because like I mean, I've had instances where you know I've shared my aspirations with my own mom, and she's kind of like, no,
It's not realistic. Yeah.
yeah, like it's
Yeah.
not realistic. But
Yeah.
like what good does that do somebody, like.
Hmm.
But like I understood why they put this message in the movie, because it can open eyes of the older generation
Right.
to see that, wow, I should not be like this.
Hmm.
Because if you think about it, Pixar now is kind of it's well, Disney in general is going away from all the old, well, not old people, but like just the old workers that used to work there, all the old Imagineers.
Hmm.
And then our generation slowly starting to dip its feet in. And so you start to see that in the sprinkles of the newer movies, um, such as like Frozen 2, like
Hmm.
Frozen 2 came out like what, last year or 2 years ago. So it's
Yeah.
so it's like fairly new. That's still our generation putting in a little bit of sprinkles of their own. Granted, we do still have like a lot of the old school workers, because they're the vets. They're going to be there to take care of Pixar, which is like understandable.
Hmm.
But I think it's great to see how far Disney in general has come with movies that have lead African American characters. Because like I think the last movie, like the last cartoon movie that I can remember where the lead character was the Princess and the Frog,
Oh yeah.
and that's such a good movie.
It feels like so many years back when that movie came out.
I mean, it's been a couple years, bro. That movie's coming. We're old, okay?
Definitely a classic movie.
Yeah, so that's a really good. It's a very underrated movie too because it's an African American based movie. So a
Almost
lot,
historic.
yeah. So a lot of people don't really talk about it, but it's crazy to me that the people that I know that are like not African American, that are the white Hispanic or whatever,
Hmm.
it's one of their favorite movies,
Yeah.
and that speaks volumes.
Hmm.
It means like our world still has a chance with
Yeah.
with everything that's going on. Our world still has a chance with our generation and people that we know that connect with us.
Hmm.
Um, Another great thing about this movie was the animation.
Yeah.
Like the animation through technology has just progressed by a lot. And
Definitely.
like I talked to you before about this, like if you watch Frozen 2, the animation in that looks almost damn near realistic because there's a beach scene on there where Elsa is at the beach and she's like trying to run on the water, but the water looks so real. The beach looks so real that it looked like they went on site and filmed it.
Right.
And it's all pure CG, it's all cartoon. And you're just sitting there like,
You sure
nah.
y'all didn't go to a
Yeah,
beach?
like yeah. You're like, nah. Oh man.
Yeah, man. Definitely for me, or anybody who's like a musician or an artist, you will definitely appreciate this movie. Jamie Foxx playing the piano
Oh,
in this
beautiful.
movie is incredible.
It
It's
was beautiful. I loved
incredible,
every
bro.
second of it.
Very incredible. You had like your all-star cast: Tina Fey, Jamie Foxx, Questlove, Felissa Rashad, just to name a few. It's a lot of good. Graham Norton as the what's it called, as the antagonizer in the movie or whatever. So yeah, there's a lot going on. A lot of good characters written in this movie.
I agree. Another thing that I really appreciated it was it wasn't really a heaven or hell based movie.
Yeah, yeah.
When you die, you die.
Hmm.
You go into the light and that's it. And then the way it was set up, uh all the little ones were they're babies. They're waiting to be
Hmm.
born. So I really like the way that it was portrayed.
Yeah, definitely written very well.
And I know you think is no, not Jerry. Jerry, I think Jerry was all the good ones. Well, they're all good, but I think like all the tall motherfuckers.
Yeah.
uh the little one, the one that you think is creepy,
Oh yeah, the
the
antagonizer.
antagonist. So I
Yeah,
see him as the Grim Reaper.
yeah, he is.
That pretty much like he would open the portal,
Yes,
the
he
body
is.
fell through, everything was dark, and then the soldiers came out.
Didn't you say he was like he's like the devil before he like got pushed down to hell,
Yeah,
banished to hell? Yeah,
yeah. He's just trying to crunch numbers, man. He was trying to make things right.
yeah. It's a job. It's a job. It's not
Yeah,
his like personal preference.
yeah. He
I
wasn't
got
taking
it.
it personal. He was being it was just his job. He was doing what he had to do. I like how they messed with him at the end too. When they're like,
Yeah, that
they
was
say, "What's that? What's that?" Huh?
oh my god, what's that over there?
And but the
No,
reason
but
that
see, go ahead, go ahead.
the reason that I also said that he kind of resembled Lucifer was because um during the ceremony scene when they gave him the trophy,
Hmm.
the dude was like, and we nominate this trophy to blah 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 only because you wanted it. So he wanted
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
attention. So that's Yeah.
Yeah, self gratification. Yeah,
Yeah.
self gratification. Yeah.
We know that comes a long way.
Uh, oh yeah. We could tie that to fame too.
Yeah, we could.
Uh, yeah. I mean, what do you what do you rate the movie?
I would say like a 4.8. I think for me the reason being is it's not a perfect movie. I thought the acting was phenomenal. The animation was phenomenal. The only thing that I probably would probably change, in my opinion, would be the ending. I wouldn't have just ended it with him walking into back to his life and then just ending it there. I would have, me personally, I would have wanted a time jump and him meeting up. He's older, and then 22 finding him or him finding 22 and,
Mm,
and into whatever body she embodied after being born and stuff. Whether like she's like you had spoken earlier, like 16
yeah,
or something
it could
like
be
that.
like a child. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think for the memory that they created as souls together,
Hmm.
I feel like that would stick in the back of their minds. Because if you notice, when he got back in his mind, all the things that she did were coming back to him in memory.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a possibility with her. All the experiences that she had as him,
Are now engraved in his memory.
or
Or
or in her memory as
memory.
whatever body she's in,
Yeah. Yeah.
So it would have been cool for me at least to see them meet up in the physical realm, but it was a good movie, so I'm not
Yeah.
complaining.
I also would give it 4.8. Like I said, the only thing that pretty much like creeped me out was like the antagonist and how like he came down to earth, and that stuff where he like came down to earth and he thought that person was Joe, and he like put him through that little portal. It's like, oh, you thought you could like escape or whatever, and the dude was like scared as hell.
Oh
And
yeah,
he,
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
put his soul back in his body and took
And
him
then
back.
he told him don't. He told him to stay away from them processed foods.
Yeah, that was another message right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was another message.
Boy said
Yeah.
you really should lay off them processed foods. Yeah, I was like, oh.
He's talking to they're talking to the whole entire world here.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, it was good. It was a good movie regardless. I didn't want to be perfect with my score. I just said 4.8 as well. So, you know.
Well, there's not really much we could talk about in the movie about the movie. I mean, we've really just covered the basis.
Just go watch the damn movie. It's not like I've said when we previously talked about this. This movie is not for children. You can take your child to see this, but an 8-year-old will not resonate with this the way an 18 to 35
Older.
year old will
Yeah.
understand. Mhm.
It's the messages in the movie, unless your kid's super smart, but the messages in the movie, kids will not understand. I feel like they will just love. Uh, it's another cartoon movie made by Disney.
Mhm.
They will go love to see the movie because it's pretty entertaining. So there's that aspect too, because it can inspire a child of any race
Mhm.
to pursue life in the music industry.
And then something I don't think we talked about is like the little girl in his middle school class.
The one that wanted to give up, because she
Yeah.
felt the soul when she was
Yeah.
in class. She felt it.
Yeah.
That was such a powerful scene to me, honestly.
Like the scene in the beginning where oh, that was my remote. My bad. The scene in the beginning when they're all he has his whole class like playing, and they're playing terribly. Oh my gosh. Like the
Yeah,
opening
the
credits
opening
is
to Disney.
just
Oh hell, dude.
like all terribly playing. And then like he tells her to do a solo. I think she has like a trombone or whatever, and she starts going, and like she's the best
Yeah, the
sound
best one.
person in the class, and she just goes on a whole like little tangent, and she forgets that she's in class, and she's just like playing and playing and playing, and everybody's like making fun of her, and he's like, "Why are y'all
Yeah,
sitting there
why y'all laughing?
laughing about?" Like she's great. She sounds great. That's what happens when you're like into your creativity that much. Like you get lost in it. You get lost in it like that. You know,
Yeah, I feel you.
like that's
Um,
with anything from like if you're into like I don't know, if you're into like editing videos or something like that, you'll get lost in it, you'll get so good that you forget that there's anything else going on around you.
yeah, and then that little girl, the scene in the hallway when she was like wanting to give up music,
Yeah.
she taught 22 how to appreciate things
Right, right,
in
right, right.
just that one scene by showing her how much she loves it. And it was such a good, powerful scene between those two too, because they're at first they were just talking mess about it, and
Hmm.
uh, and then they sat down, and then she was like, "Well, I wanted to play you this," and then she plays it,
Hmm.
and 22 is like, "Wow, that's beautiful. You must really love this." And
And
then
then
she's,
you have to remember another thing is that it's a child. Children always like pick up something and then say they want to quit, and then hey, in hindsight, you go back and you're like, you know what? I still want to do this.
yeah, I agree.
That's the mentality of a child. A child will like drop some. A child will pick up something and drop it in a minute.
Oh yeah,
But if they really, you get what I'm saying. But
yeah.
if like they really like it, they'll be like, no, I want to do this. You know.
Well,
So
all in all, I thought it was a great movie.
yeah,
Um,
solid movie.
I totally agree. We both rated it at 4.8 out of 5 stars. So
Hmm.
I say that's as good as it's gonna get. Hopefully, other people can truly appreciate this movie and appreciate the messages in it, um, and make their own movie reviews on this, and aspire to be what the messages here are trying to tell you.
Yeah, very true.
So, all of my Iron Flash maniacs out there, hope you like this movie review. Hit the like button, subscribe. Don't forget to ding that bell. Don't forget to subscribe to Spice Glory over here. I
Oh,
know he's been a little bit MIA right now, but he's getting back into it. 2021 is going to be the year.
you know what I'm
2020
saying?
is going to be the year of a lot of things for the two of us.
Sizzle
Just wait.
boys,
This is just a test run right here with the Zoom calls.
Febreze boys,
So we going out there, man. So we going out
Flash.
there. So we will see you guys later.